Greetings. Tony from Old River Hardgoods again. Today's musical selection is Daybreak Awaits from my second CD, Last Sun. And as always, the links are down there in the description to the video and the full version of the song. And today's video talks about 3 different restorations on 3 different tools. Some stuff I've covered in the past, maybe some stuff you haven't seen before. A couple of these tools you probably have heard of but haven't seen up close and personal, so we'll give you a chance to take a look at them. And, you know, there's the usual fussing, kicking, and cussing with the camera, but you will have this. So, anyways, sit back and enjoy. Well, here we have a Snell and Atherton cobbler's heel shave that I recently picked up. Kind of halfway through the restoration on it. I started on it yesterday, which was a Sunday. Got the fence screws out, but the blade screws didn't want to turn, which unfortunately is common with these guys. The screws go into this part of the blade, as you can see. And so I soaked it good with the penetrating oil, top and bottom, and fortunately this afternoon, being Monday, they just decided to turn. So I went at it. Gave the guy a good go over with the wheel. I just wiped it down with some paint thinner for the time being. And I'm going to mask it off and get it ready to paint. Snell and Atherton were founded in 1853. The company continued sometime into the early part of the 20th century, making shoemakers and cobbler's tools. These heel shaves are somewhat common. There's a couple other variations of them out there. These are made in different sizes, this being the number 6 size. We have the star logo there. This OED mark is on the blade, and of course turn it around so you can read it. Yeah, the company logo. And I mean, it's not going to be in great shape when I get done with it. I mean, there's some pitting and stuff on it, and the blade's got some light patina. I'm going to do a little more work on that. I just gave it the old quickie once over, but a big issue with these guys, of course, is making sure those screws work. So, flip this over so you get another view of that side. Of course, this is the adjustable fence. And off to the paint can. Here's another tool that I picked up over the summer months. I decided to see if I can bring back to life. And this is a cabinet scraper by E C Atkins, famous maker of saws. So far the only thing I've done to it was to use a mallet to break the blade free. As you can see, that's got some patina in the areas that wasn't covered up by the cap there. And cap's pretty tight, so I'm going to have to hit that with some penetrating oil. Handle finish has got a whole lot of character. A couple of checks, and the ferrule was moving around a bit, so I'm going to have to slap some glue in that. So, and I have it sitting here on the paper just because it's just a bit on the grody side. So, off we go. Another one on the Today's restoration video will be this Stanley Sweetheart number 25 10-inch adjustable bevel square, sliding adjustable bevel square to be perfectly correct. And the mark's a little faint there, but it can be read. It may have been cleaned previously. The blade's got some frost in that, but we're going to bring it back. There's some rusting on the nut there. The handle's got some dings and bits of paint, usual stuff. But this is it as we begin with. Let's get working on it. Alright, now I have the flash on here so you can see with the light. You can see where I got the pieces masked off. I kind of guess at how it should be because honestly finding one of these with the original finish intact is pretty near impossible. So anyways, let's go fire up the paint cans quick. I'm not going to bore you with all the painting, but we'll just do one or two shots as it's going on. Well, while I'm waiting for the penetrating oil to work on the head of the scraper, I decided to tackle the blade. Just was doing some buzzing around on it with the wire wheel. And you see some of the rust is lifting off on it. Don't see too much in the way of pitting. Backside, it's the same. So hopefully this is going to clean up pretty nice. Now if the rest of the project goes as easy as this, I will be very happy. Well, here we have the basic cleaning done. The handle, polished up the brass a bit, and I get some comments, why do you do that? Well, you know, when it gets real nasty, there's not much else you can do with it. The handle's got a user mark carved in there, and a lot of times you'll see initials stamped there on the plates, but it's not too bad. You just have a little wear. The blade still has some frosting, but well, it's not too bad, and the edges are good. The nut, of course, is bent a little, but I'm not going to try straightening that out. Trust me, you don't want to go there. And the bolt has some pitting on the back. Some funky on the inside there, if you can see it. Well, I'm going to wipe that down with the wax just to make sure it doesn't grow any of that back. And now it's time to head over to the stripper pot and the wax pot. So away we go. Well, you see a few fumes floating around in there from the painting. That's the first coat. And it's going to take a while to dry, so I'll have to do something else for a bit. And here we have the finished blade. Oh, it does have some frosting, a little staining on it, but that's not too bad. I hit it with some 180 to break the crusty off, and 400 wet sanding, and then back to the wheel. So that's not perfect, but my guess is, yeah, this would probably fit a Stanley 80 too. I haven't looked to see what the prices on these scrapers are going for. I might could get more just for the blade to sell sticking 180 than I could for the tool, but I guess we will find out. And with the world famous dead hammer handle pile in the background, here we are at the stripper pot, giving this the old once over, just to get rid of what little bits of paint. On there. I've already scrubbed it down pretty good. This is just demonstration purposes here. And then we take a piece of paper towel, which is plenty here, and we're going to wipe it off. So I'm going to put the phone down for a second since I'm not playing with the tripod today, but anyways, a little hard to see, but second coat on the underside, first coat on the underside. I'm not doing too heavy on this, but I'll have to do a little touch up and still see the fumes circulating under there. Of course, you can tell from the colors. I've been doing other than black painting on here, but this is kind of my work area. So, anyways, we're going to let this finish up. I'll do the touch-ups on it, and then we'll show you the finished product. Well, I got the head moving. And good old penetrating oil does its job. And it's got some patina. I give it a light cleanup, but I'm not going to go all crazy on it. I don't have any of this Ford blue paint here, so sort of doing it either black or camo. We ain't got too many options as far as refinishing it, so we're just going to leave that be. Now to tackle the handle. And what I do is I take a piece of scrap cardboard and run it through here. Make sure I get any of the stripper out of the notch slot. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed. I guess I should have broken out the tripod, but just drag it on through, push it on up. I also use one of these after I do the wax to clean out any extra wax that gets down on the slot there. So, and here we have the handle and blade wiped down with wax. All I gotta do is clean that off a bit, let it sit there and soak into the wood. I do wipe the blades down because it's not going to hurt anything. Hopefully keep it from rusting any further, and sometimes it just takes that shiny off of it. You know, these things were originally blued. The early ones were grayed. I had a gray finish, but, you know, after 90 years, 80, 90 years, that's usually pretty much long gone. I mean, again, if you find one with the original bluing on it in good shape, you know, bring lots of money, because that's what they sell for. And here we have the finished product. I had to do a little touch up on a few spots today, but it don't look too bad. Looks a lot better than it did. Put a little oil in the screws. Blades have some frosting and light patina, but nothing too bad. I should have probably painted these sections back here, but it was hard to tell with the blade being off, so yeah, we'll leave them. But hey, put too much work into this guy for what it's going to sell for, but still looks a lot better than it did. And here we have the finished product. See, the head's got somewhere to the finished patina, but it works. Marks are nice and clear. Handle came out pretty well. Stripper that I've been using forever, the Strippies, however you say it. And they've changed the formula on it, and it doesn't do nearly as good a job as it used to a few years back. They've also jacked the price up on it. Back in March in 2020, seeing what was coming with COVID, I decided I better stock up on some stuff, and I went and bought a gallon of it for like 28 bucks. Now I'm paying $19 a freaking quart, and you know, gallons they don't even stock at the hardware store anymore. I can order them online, but being like 60 bucks, and that's insane. The other thing that's insane is a paint thinner that I used to pay $4 a quart for. Then I just bought a quart the other day along with some more stripper, and freaking $9 a quart. So, anyways, but pull the blade out. Show you the head. But all in all, didn't come out too bad for the time invested. So, another tool done. And here we have the finished product. As you can see, yeah, it's not too bad. User grade. I see a couple bits of paint there I might have missed. Sometimes they're out there at the workbench area, even though with the extra lights I have up there, it's still hard to see sometimes. So, But all in all, this guy didn't turn out too bad. Yeah, there's a kind of stain spot there. I'll revisit that real quick, but screw works. And you know, it's not perfect, but it's better than it was, and it will get the job done. Does insanity run in your family? No. It just gets up at 4:15 a.m. to go walk around flea markets when it's 21 degrees Fahrenheit out. And as you can imagine, pickings weren't exactly off the charts, but I managed to hit a few things. So here we have an older, small panel razor plane, body, blade, and wedge. It's missing the fences and the depth stop, and it's got all kinds of holes and wear and chip in there. And well, I haven't looked at that one too close. A big, I want to say 1¼ inch framer chisel. Somebody was digging in the dirt with this guy. I cleaned some mud off of it. It's probably a Beatty based on the style of the socket. It's got a lot of cut marks there, but I'm thinking the back might be salvageable. Depends how much steel's left on there. Of course, that handle's a basket case. That's going to have to come off. This one is a Russell Green River Works factory second knife. Some kind of specialty knife. It's sharpened here, it's sharpened there. I used to call these herb chopping knives, but somebody corrected me on it, and I cannot, for the life of me, cannot find what that is. Oh, I got a pretty decent USMC number 0 cobbler's hammer. That's United Shoe Machinery Corporation. A marked blacksmith straight peen hammerhead. I want to say about 1.5 pounds, but that's just a hand guess. A small wood handle turn screw. It's got some neat markings on the handle. Handle's got some checking, but I think it can be saved. And last, this guy is an original penny knife. Does have some patina. I've seen that mark. Somebody said it was Trumbull at some point, but I'm gonna have to try and do some research. But my guess is it's probably 1840s, 1850s vintage. Put it in the Civil War era, but who knows, right? But it is an original and not a rendezvous reproduction. I've had a couple of those. I've sold some of those, but anyways, hey. Yeah, just take what you get sometimes. And that's all for this one, folks. As always, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed my little presentation. And if you like what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button to be notified when new videos are posted. As always, thanks for watching, and bye.